All right, let's dive into a really powerful idea from the writer Xu Mo. It's an idea that honestly challenges one of the biggest things we all believe in, this whole pursuit of success. Let's just start with a simple question, one that pretty much drives everything we do. I mean, from the moment you wake up till you go to sleep, what is that one thing that we as a society spend our entire lives running after? Yep, that's the one. Success. It's the goal. The finish line, it's the thing we're all told we should want more than anything. But what if that entire concept is just wrong? So our source for this explainer argues that this very idea of success is basically a myth that we've made up. It's a really powerful story for sure, but it's still just a story. Just think about it for a second. For millions and millions of years, the world just did its thing. Seasons changed, things grew, things died, and none of it had any idea about success or failure. Those words, those judgments, they just didn't exist. They are 100% a human invention. And this right here brings us to the core argument, a really startling idea that kind of forces you to rethink everything you thought you knew about ambition. There it is, straight from the source. Success isn't some amazing destination you reach. It's a trap. But the big questions are how and why. To really get this, the author tells us to look away from human society for a minute and turn our attention to the natural world. Because, you see, nature has a completely different way of looking at things. And this is where you see the huge difference. We humans, we live in a world that's all about winning and losing, succeeding and failing. But the rest of the natural world, it runs on a totally different operating system. There's just life and death. No judgment calls, no scorecards. I mean, the sun isn't successful for rising, right? A plant isn't a failure because it withers. An animal is born, it lives its life, and then it dies. That's the whole cycle. It really shows you how we've put this uniquely human pressure on ourselves, a pressure that nature just completely ignores. Okay, so if success is a trap, and a uniquely human one at that, it kind of begs the next question. Who built this thing?
The author asks this exact question, and the answer they give is, well, it's meant to be provocative. It's metaphorical.
One word, the devil. Now, obviously, this isn't meant literally. It's a metaphor for how sneaky and self-destructive this whole concept we created is. It's like this force that tempts us with a prize that, in the end, costs us absolutely everything. So, if we're all caught in this big metaphorical trap, what's the bait? What are these goals that promise us so much fulfillment and happiness? Well, the source points to these classic examples. Think of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He had all the power in the world. But where is he now? Where are all his glorious victories? History is just littered with empires that rose and fell, huge fortunes that were made and then lost. All that success was just temporary. And that's really the point here. These traditional goals, power, fame, wealth, they're held up as the ultimate prize. But the argument is that they're nothing more than mirages in a desert. They promise you water, but they just deliver more sand. And what's worse, chasing after these illusions comes at a massive cost. The author lays out this devastating sequence of events. First, you work yourself to the bone and you get the wealth. But in doing that, you lose the time to ever enjoy it. Then the stress starts to chip away at your health. And finally, you lose the one thing you can't buy back, your peace of mind. This observation from the author is just so powerful, isn't it? Because we've all seen this person, the one who has made it, who has everything, but they just look stressed out, worried, and totally joyless. They won the game, but it looks like they lost themselves along the way. So, where does all this leave us? It leaves us with a huge challenge. A challenge to basically everything we've been taught about ambition and what a good life is supposed to look like. You see, the real work isn't about achieving success. It's about recognizing the trap for what it is. It's about unlearning that desire for the mirage and starting to look for the real water, the actual substance of life. And that's the question I want to leave you with. If this race we're all running is just leading us to a trap, then what does it mean to just stop running? What is a real, authentic life? One that's free from all this judgment of success and failure.